Alright, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I have something very, very unfortunate to talk about. Falcon coin has exited, apparently, and everybody will probably lose their money doing so. So if you guys don't know what Falcon coin is yet another lending coin, and lending coins are not doing too well, particularly after the fall of BitConnect. Then went Devor coin, and now Falcon coin. So Falcon coin is at least the third lending coin to be an outright scam and collapse with a terrible exit situation. So the first thing we have today is a Telegram message from some Telegram admins, and these admins are not necessarily Falcon coin employees, but they did do a lot for the community. It says, "It looks like the worst has happened. The admins have not heard from Will and Mike or anyone from the Falcon team. Due to this, admins are inclined to believe that Will and Mike have found their way out along with all the funds. The wallet of Falcon coin was also emptied. This wallet address was shared by Will when things were going well. The Falcon website is not working now, and absolute silence from the founders indicate that they are no longer in business. All the admins were completely blindsided and left hanging with no information. Please understand that each volunteer admin is not a member of the official Falcon coin team, and admins were never compensated in any way for all the community work that they did. Most of the social media was managed by admins voluntarily to help bring news to the community as fast as they could. As soon as admins realized that Falcon coin is no longer in business, they have decided to take down all the social media too and cease all support to Falcon coin. During these hard times, we ask you to be compassionate towards the admins, as they are investors too, and they had no control or any part of what the official Falcon coin team did." Following is the wallet address that Will sent to check the Falcon coin transactions a while back. So a while back, Will, the CEO, the Falcon coin was doing really well, as all lending coins do for a while. And again, all Ponzi schemes, pyramid schemes do well at first, by sort of their inherent design, if you will, or at least apparently they do. And so he actually displayed the blockchain and the wallet of the Falcon coin team. So this is the wallet here. Total sent from the wallet here was nearly 1,200 Bitcoin, so 1,116 Bitcoin. And the final balance is just, that's probably less than $1 or something like that. So pretty insignificant. So I brought up a Bitcoin to US dollar calculator for you guys. And this was when it was $11,512. So by the time you guys watch this, it might be a few bucks extra or less. But for the most part, what does it even matter, right? Because it's $12,853,000 and $794. So I know I said that pretty odd, but so just shy of $13 million. So give or take a few $100s by the time you watch this. But again, who's counting when you have $13 million? So $13 million was completely taken away from the account. So I'd like to show you real quick Devor coin, which was another lending coin, and it is down to 1 cent. Oftentimes it's up to 3 cents, maybe even 4 cents, but for the most part it is completely dead, and it is just another drop in the bucket in terms of lending coins. The first one to go down was BitConnect, and then Devor coin, and now Falcon coin. There might have been one in between that, but for the most part there are 3 major lending coins that are now a part of an exit scam. So if you have any coins in any kind of lending coin or arbitrage coin or anything invested into that, my advice to you is, well, first of all, what happens when you invest into these lending coins is that they lock your money in for a specific time. So for example, like BitConnect and Devor, if you put in $1,000, you can't get that $1,000 for some 300 days or something like that. So you can't just take your money back. So that's a major problem for anybody that's still in these lending coins. It's not that easy to simply get out. So a lot of the Reddits and things like that, people are just saying, get out, get out, get out. But it's just not that simple. So what I suggest to you guys, if you are still in a lending coin like LendConnect or something like that, just take your everyday profits and do not reinvest it. Just simply take those profits and send them out from the website, because it will go down sooner or later. The thing is that some of these lending coins could work for a little bit longer. However, their inherent design of 1% daily interest is simply not sustainable. It's just simply not mathematically feasible. I know a lot of people try to argue that, but if you've taken even 8th grade math, it's simply not feasible. 1% interest daily for $1,000 in just like 6 years or something like that, you would have trillions of dollars, basically more money than the entirety of the world for the most part. So it's just not possible. So what I would recommend to you is that every day you take that profit, that interest, and you just remove it from the site. You just send that Bitcoin or whatever you're getting from that interest off of the website, because after BitcoinX went down, all the fudders, all the trolls, and mind you, some of them were pretty righteous in doing so, because all of these lending coins are, you know, a scam in some way, shape, or form. I think a lot of us thought that they would go on a little bit longer than they would have, but that's just not the case. They're falling one after another. So BitConnect fell, and all the fighters, all the trolls and such went to, and basically all the people who lost money for the most part. And I don't mean to call them trolls, because they're sort of righteous trolls in a way. So they're actually right. It's like a troll that's actually correct. And they went to Devorcoin and they started fudding it super hard, and then the price just fell and collapsed. So they collapsed Devorcoin faster than it should have collapsed on its own, and then they went to Falcon Coin. Now Falcon Coin is going to Lend Connect. I actually just checked the Lend Connect Reddit, and there are posts that says "You're next," and just came to check on how, you know, to laugh at you guys, things like that. So like really non-constructive posts, but true posts at the same time. So Lend Connect will be next, or some lending coin will be next. So moving on, this is the Reddit for Falcon Coin, and for the most part, it hasn't taken too much of effect yet, as there's only like 91 total readers on Falcon Coin at the moment. And so, well, Falcon Coin left us. They stole everything. Is this an exit? Falcon website is completely down, and so it's just not looking too good. The last time we heard from Falcon Coin was from their CEO, saying that they were upgrading the systems and that it would be down for a little while, and it has since been down permanently, and the website is completely offline. So I've never invested into Falcon Coin, but this is pretty big news. There could be a lot of people that lost a lot along the way. Another thing is their Twitter. So I have the Falcon Coin, and then there's like a Falcon Coin help Twitter, and there is really nothing on it. It just says Falcon Coin will fly on March 1st, and then we have, like, you know, some scammer here, and it's basically a scammer saying send your Bitcoin to this address. So I never actually do that. I'm not that I assume that you guys would ever do that, but there's always these scammers that say, like, send it to this address and I'll send you, you know, twice of what you sent me. And so a lot of, you know, what's the deal? I'm trying to get the site up. It won't pull it up at all. And even if you go to the site here, it's just server not found. It's just totally dead. So all of this is quite the tragedy indeed. Whoever had money on Falcon Coin at the moment, you're not going to get it back, and people will just run off with their money. So this is quite the repetitive event in crypto. I feel that the anonymity of crypto helps scammers quite a lot. So not to say that there has never been any kinds of Ponzi schemes or pyramid schemes, you know, before crypto. Obviously there was, but the difference is that those people usually get caught. Now I understand that, you know, people can get away with robbery or scamming and then they never get caught. Sure, but the major players usually get caught. So when you see these ICOs coming out, or you see these lending coins, and you go to their site and you think, well, I'm going to make a little bit of money. But the problem is that these lending coins, they offer these ridiculous interest rates, which can essentially never occur. So you see this auto reinvest with Falcon Coin here, and that locks in your money for even longer. So it locks it in for even longer in a 0.10%, 0.20% interest, 0.30%. Those interest rates are completely unfeasible. They're unrealistic. So basically you have like a 1% on your initial principal, and then you can add additional time to your entire investment. So it'll lock it in for an additional 8 weeks or an additional 2 weeks, that sort of thing. and it gives you an additional interest rate for doing that, which sounds all good and hunky-dory, but it's just not mathematically feasible. I don't know how any other way to put it, to try and convince everybody that these lending coins are, it can't be done. Maybe a lending coin will come along sooner or later that will offer bank style interest rates, and I know those are really super low interest rates, but you can get slightly higher than that and still be, feasible. But 1% every day just creates too much money. Now you might think to yourself, well, 1% every day for just you is fine. Well, that's feasible in a sense. Even after a few years, it's not mathematically, but one or two people making 1% a day is not too bad. Of course, in time it will be, but for the most part, it's not too bad. But once you get thousands and thousands and thousands of people all individually receiving 1% interest rate, it just can't be done. So how people support these lending coins, I'm not even sure. So I tried out a lending coin for a little bit. I just put in a little bit, and you can see that a lot on YouTube. People just trying like, 100 or 200 bucks or something like that into these lending coins. So you don't really lose too much. So I tried it once, and Devore fell immediately after I did it, and I was like, well, guess I'll never do that again. And at the same time, it was kind of weird, and I understand the hypocrisy a little bit there, but I was seeing everybody making money on BitConnect and seeing everybody making money on Devore, and I thought to myself, well, why not give it a try? Just throw in a little bit. It's nothing that like it's essentially just mining Bitcoin anyway, so I'm not really losing anything completely. Maybe a little bit on my electricity bill, not too big of a deal. So I just put in a little bit, and it turned out to be a fiasco. And I thought to myself, well, I think Devore coin, BitConnect has last a year, so maybe Devore coin will last a year, and by the time a year comes along, I'll have my principal and all of my interest out, and I can get out. And so one side of me knew that it was a scam going into it. The other side of me thought, well, it's just a little bit of coin. Maybe I can make some money off of it. And, and then as soon as I did that, I wanted to make a video on it and show everybody how to do it. And then I realized very, very quickly that this is definitely not a good system to get into. I try to pride myself and on my YouTube to be as shilly, as less shilly as possible. So I figured I wouldn't do that because it's a dangerous situation. And I even had close friends that I play games with every day. On TeamSpeak, I talk to him every day, and he's like, how's it going on Devore? And I'm like, well, so far it's going pretty well. But he's like, should I get into it? And I'm like, I don't think so, man. Don't put your money into it. Like, I don't, it's too risky. And good thing he didn't, and good thing I told him not to do that, because Devore coin went down a couple weeks later. So, I think a lot of us have tried some of these lending coins, and then I think now 90% of the population realizes at this point that these lending coins are not feasible, that they're all scams. There's no repercussions for the people that are running these. So that 1,200 Bitcoin, nobody's going to get arrested for that. That's the thing. I wish they would. Because it's illegal. They essentially just stole all their corporate funds, which is, essentially embezzling and running off. And it's essentially theft, grand theft at that. Millions of dollars in theft. So it's a huge crime. But the thing is with these ICOs and these coins and these lending coins specifically, there is no development team a lot of the times. If you check the white paper of Devore coin, or when you go to the Devore coin website, there's no customer service number. There's no customer service email. There's no pictures of the developers. There's no names of the developers. So that means when they decide to exit, then it's said and done. And let me tell you how this works a little bit. For anybody that hasn't tried these lending coins yet, well, don't, first of all. Well, let me just tell you how it works, is that you send them Bitcoin, and then they give you some useless coin like Falcon coin or Devore coin or BitConnect, and so that coin facilitates the trades in which that it makes money. So when the whole system crashes, you're left with this nothing coin, this useless coin, and they have all the Bitcoin. So it didn't matter if it crashed to them. It never mattered in the end if it crashed for them. They got your Bitcoin, plain and simple. And that's the way it goes with a lot of these ICOs as well. So an ICO will come along And mind you, some ICOs are good, and I actually have a potential upcoming ICO that that is a friend of mine, and so it's gonna be an excellent ICO. So I'm going to show you guys that pretty soon. It's not ready just yet, but it is a guaranteed, not a scam. We know the guy, we know the developers, we know the venture capitalists that are putting in the money. So I know all about it, and it's going to be great. But what you got to watch out for is that these ICOs popping up all over the place. You can go to ICO Alert or these ICO websites that show all these ICOs, and there's just dozens of them coming out daily. And if you put your money into them, you know, in 2017, when you put your money into them and when they reach exchange, they're, you know, 3, 4, 5 times the cost that you initially put your money in, and then you immediately sell it, and you know, sometimes decouple your money, if you will, 10 times what you put into it. And that was a huge fad in 2017. That was huge. And that's starting to die off a little bit. And what's happening is that these ICOs are just making a coin just to make the coin. It's not that the coin is unique. It's not that the coin is super special. It's not that they have a huge good plan or a roadmap for the coin. It's just so a lot of people can make money, plain and simple. So they'll make a coin and they'll receive your Bitcoin or Ethereum or Litecoin or whatever it is that they accept for that coin. And when that coin releases, yes, it's a functional cryptocurrency. But in the end, they got all of the good crypto, the Bitcoin, the Ethereum, the Litecoin, the Ripple, or whatever you paid for it, right? So they have the expensive stuff. They made their money. They made millions. And yet you're stuck with this coin that may or may not go out on an exchange. When it does go out on an exchange, maybe people will just dump it immediately and the price will just fall. So if you're not one of the first people to sell, you know, you lost out on a lot of money. But just to let you guys know, yes, I do have an ICO coming up that I would like to promote. I think it's going to be juicy, juicy, juicy. It's a really good ICO. It's got a huge roadmap. The developers are going to take half of the money that they make from the ICO, and then they're going to buy their own coins from the exchange that they put it on and then burn them. So they're essentially just going to waste half of their own money. Half of their own money, potentially possibly millions of dollars of their own money to buy up their own coins and then destroy them, so that there are less coins in circulation and that your coins that you're holding on to go up in price. So it's going to be a really good crypto, and I'm super psyched about it. And if it turns out to not be a good crypto for some reason, I can't really foresee what the reason would be, then I will not promote it. So I know the name of it. I can't give the name up yet. I know I've read the white paper. I can't give that up just yet. So it's not ready just yet. But when it is ready, I will let you guys know. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know this was a little negative, this video here, and I know some people probably lost a lot of money on Falcon coin. But just to throw it out for the future, do not invest in lending coins or arbitrage coins. Anything with lend in it, just avoid it. Just avoid it like the plague. It's kind of like when, you know, when there's something bad going on in social media or in the world, and like you see like actors and things like that, like avoid that topic at all costs. Not that like everything about it is going to hurt them, but they just avoid it at all costs. So just avoid anything with lending, arbitrage, anything like that that is a lending coin that uses the market. They're so easy to just crash with FUD, and they're so easy for the developers to just pack up and run. And when you're buying an ICO, make sure that you can see that development team. Make sure that that development team is in that white paper so that you know who to blame if they just take your coin and run. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys next time.